Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today we're going to talk about D.Va. Specifically, I wanted to talk about her mech and its overall design, and why I think it was designed the way it is. So, to begin with, let's start with her origins. Hana Song was a professional gamer living in South Korea when the country was hit full force by a colossal Omnic that rose from the sea and caused catastrophic damage to the coastal cities before it was finally driven back. In response to this, the South Korean government developed a mechanized armored drone unit dubbed Mecha to protect the cities against future Omnic threats. In a style that parallels the kaiju stories of old, the giant Omnic rose again from the sea to attack South Korea and its neighbours. Every time it was driven back, it learned something new and it would reconfigure itself for the next attack. Each time featuring new patterns of attack, new abilities, and new weapons. As the monstrous Omnic adapted, it learned to destroy Mecha's drone control networks, rendering them useless. It was then that the military abandoned the drone controls and placed pilots in the mechs instead. Unfortunately, shortage of suitable pilot candidates proved to be a problem, and the unit began to look outside of its own military forces. Realizing the strength of the professional gamers, people who had trained and prepared themselves for the high-stress, reflex-dependent world of professional gaming, possessed the necessary qualities and instincts to pilot the mechs, they began drafting the top players, and among them was a competitive StarCraft player named Hana Song, better known by her gamertag D.Va. The mech she pilots is a modified armoured combat drone belonging to the mobile Exo-Force of the Korean army, also known as Mecha. The mech itself is bipedal and is armed with triple-barreled rotary fusion cannons mounted on both arms. The weapons use a form of particle fusion to compress particulate matter into projectiles, which are then fired out rapidly in a shotgun-like spread pattern. The mech is also equipped with an active protection system that utilizes the same fusion technology to destroy incoming projectiles in a frontal arc. Mounted on its back is a set of high-powered booster jets. This system, along with the shoulder-mounted wings and roof-mounted fins, as well as the overall aerodynamic shape of the mech's torso, suggests it was intended to have some limited flight capabilities, with the possibility of flight control in a limited form. The entire system is powered by a miniature fusion reactor of some form that is located underneath the pilot. The pilot themselves are situated in the upper torso in a rather cramped prone position due to the space limitations brought along by the original design. While obviously quite a lot of the tech rests firmly in the realms of science fiction, there is at least some form of logical basis for the design within the lore. As you can imagine, the enemy they were designed to fight was a city-destroying colossal Omnic. This means they would need a versatile vehicle that could attack the monster from the ground and be able to take off and fly up to specific parts of the Omnic and attack it up close. Conventional aircraft simply would not be suitable, as they would not be able to engage from the ground or be especially effective at attacking critical points in the machine, especially once it learns to adapt to their attacks. In a similar fashion, ground-based vehicles such as tanks would also face a similar problem, being that they are only able to attack from the ground. What is needed then is a weapon that can be just as versatile and adaptable. Unsurprisingly, this led to the creation of walkers, since they allowed for much greater mobility and were able to adapt to the Omnic's movements. However, a piloted mech would also have the instincts of a human being and thus possess even greater adaptability in the field. The big question is, why do they use shotgun-like weapons instead of rifle or cannon-style weapons? In other words, why spread the firepower out instead of focusing it into a single projectile? And this is a tricky one that I spent quite a lot of time thinking about. The conclusion I came to is that we simply do not know for certain that this was even the case. In the lore, the South Korean military actually suspended several traditional military protocols when it recruited professional gamers. This allowed them to customize their uniforms and equipment as well as modify their mechs, so for all we know, the shotgun effect was D.Va's personal choice. It seems unlikely, after all, that they would design a platform as versatile as the mechs are, and then relegate them to a single loadout choice. And indeed, like any modern-day military platform, they are adapted to suit the needs of the mission, so it's entirely possible that other weapon types were indeed available, but the rotary shotgun-type fusion cannons were what D.Va preferred. A similar argument can be made for the self-destructibility, which appears to involve overloading the mech's power plant, leading to a catastrophic failure that results in a large explosion. This would undoubtedly involve breaching several safety mechanisms and failsafes in place that many modern military protocols would normally explicitly prohibit. However, given the dire situation the country was facing, it's possible that such protocols would have been dispensed with. But what do you guys think? If you could outfit your own mech, what weapons would you choose instead? Let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. My name is Panzer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.